effective out high or down low. Here he is out high. Holds, waits, fires, and scores! Matvei Michkov has his first goal at the Wells Fargo Center.
This is episode 118 of the Liberty L. My name is Chris Stumpo, and for right now, I am by myself. This will be the way that the pods will be going for the near future. It will be just me starting out the pod, going over everything in the Flyers world. I will obviously get into why that is. Make it short and simple, short and sweet. Real quick, huge fucking win, boys and girls that are listening. Huge fucking win tonight. I mean, to be able to go into Montreal, win that game in the shootout, and then play in Nashville and win the game it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. I didn't watch the whole game, I'll be honest with you. Went to trivia night, got some wings, and the game was on. Caught the first period, was able to get home for the second and third. So I wasn't able to actually see the entire thing, but huge wins. 8-5-1. Vladar, again, was great. I mean, watching him this season has been, personally, he's been a lot better than my negative ass at certain points thought. He's been fantastic. They just activated Urson off the IR. I mean, we'll get into all of that. But first, obviously, I did make a tweet yesterday talking about the future of the pod and basically just thanking everybody for still tweeting along, following along, liking posts, just being there. Like, for example, Bleed. You're one of our day ones in the net hockey, one of our day ones. Like, thank you guys for always being there for us. And like I said, obviously we have not released a podcast in a really long time. I think June was the last one, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look. Episode 117 was in June 24th. So obviously it's been a really long time. And I'm not going to dive into extreme detail because, Danny is not here to defend himself. Well, not defend himself, but Danny is not here to talk for himself. So I'm not going to get into detail about it. The bottom line is I haven't heard from the kid in a long time. And it's pretty hard to do a podcast with somebody that you just don't hear from. I have no bad blood for the kid. I don't think he has any bad blood towards me. We were just talking in September. It's the last time I talked to him. I'm just going to be honest with it. Like I said, he is not here to defend himself. So that's what I will leave it at. Danny, if you're listening, I love you. You're obviously still part of the pod. But, I think it's time to do a podcast. And this is the only way I can bring one right now. Just trying to be honest with you guys. I think you guys deserve transparency. And that's about it. There's nothing really much to it. I don't know. He has his own thing. I'm not going to speak on it. Why, what, blah, blah, blah. If he wants to speak on it, he will. But I just want to leave it out there that I love the kid. TLY is always open. We're always here for you. But I got to bring a podcast to the people. I miss coming on here and talking about hockey. I miss talking to Danny about hockey. But until Danny comes back, if he comes back, whatever. I'm going to be here. I'm going to bring you guys a podcast every single week. We are not going anywhere. I am going to have Derek on this podcast in the next 5 or 10 minutes. Just kind of wanted to clear the air with just me until I bring him on. But like I said, that's all I'm going to get into. No details. But I think you guys deserve to at least know what's going on. Like, there's no bad blood between us. Just kind of in the dark. That's it. And that's all I'm going to say. So to move on from the to the Flyers, my apologies. Just got done talking about Dan Vladar. He's a story in itself. I think everybody can sit here as Flyers fans. And even like when we signed him, I remember my first instinct was like, okay, I've heard of this guy, but he's not He's not somebody that in hockey world people were clamoring over. But something that did strike me, and I know it's like cliche to say, yeah, I mean, this guy says he really wants to be a part of this city and blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, of course you want to be a part of this city. You're getting paid millions. Of course you're going to say you want to be a part of the community that gave you all of this money. It's a very cliche thing to say. But at the same time, I think there is something to say about how many times this guy repeats it. And I just personally loved what he said post-game today. Another great game from him, 22 of 23. Flyers win 3-1, 8-5-1. And this is what Vladar said post-game. I said it multiple times. When I heard there was interest, and I put in parentheses, from the Flyers, it was a no-brainer. Didn't even take me a second to know I wanted to be a Flyer. That right there, I understand it's not much, people. I understand that. But I fucking love it. I absolutely fucking love it. Give me all the pandering. Give me all the goalie pandering, because we haven't had a lot of it. We haven't had a lot of good goaltending in Philadelphia in a very long time, because I guess we're cursed. That's why. So I will take all the goalie pandering to the city of Philadelphia that I can possibly get. And I'm enjoying this. I'm not going to lie, people. Dan Vladar has been an absolute treat to watch, especially getting pulled in that Toronto game. And then coming back and being able... Was it Toronto game? Guys, I don't want to come back after 5 months and be wrong and give you incorrect information. But I'm pretty sure it was the Toronto game that he got pulled in, because we just played... I'm pulling it up right now, but we just played Montreal in that shootout. By the way, Trevor Zegras in that game was ridiculous. I mean, we'll get into him when Derek hops on. Derek will, I am sure, jump into his thoughts on Trevor Zegras. But first, I gotta make sure I'm right about this. Yeah, I think he got pulled in the Toronto game. And then Kolosov started that Calgary game, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, 19 of 21 for Kolosov. Kolosov's another one who I think, especially considering what we saw last year and how we've kind of come into this season expecting what we were going to see with him, I think he's been pleasantly surprising this year. I think he's been pretty good. Yeah, so I was right. He got pulled, Vladar, I'm talking about now. Got pulled in that Toronto game and then played in the Montreal game that we just won 5-4 in the shootout. What a game, by the way. Like I said, Trevor Zegras was brilliant. Bobby Brink, brilliant. And then Drysdale, obviously, he continues to be awesome. But yeah, Vladar was 16 of 20. So Vladar is another guy who, yeah, I mean, he's been good this season. And we've all pointed that out. But to be able to bounce back from getting pulled, like the first kind of, I mean, I wouldn't say bad game, because there was a couple of goals during that Toronto game that I didn't personally love for him. But like the first game that he's given up more than what you would like, he was able to bounce back from that fast and play very well in Montreal and play very well in Nashville. But I'm going to invite Derek and see if we can get him in here. But just kind of want to go over tonight's game, because it's honestly the most recent thing that we can go over until Derek does get here, and then we can jump into a bunch of different things. But I do have a couple of not questions or comments, but a couple of replies. Broad Street Bullies at Bullies Broad. Imagine not laying a dud at home over the weekend. Honestly, yeah, that was probably one of my first thoughts when the clock hit 0 after this game. Not especially Calgary, especially that fucking Calgary game, because I mean, Calgary's one of the worst teams in the NHL coming into that game, and to score one goal against them, and I know Dustin Wolf was good. He hasn't been as good this year. I mean, at least to start. But to lay a dud against that fucking team is inexcusable. I don't give a fuck how many games you played and how many games. I personally don't care. To be able, not to be able to go into that that Calgary game and not be able to score more than one goal is pathetic. I mean, the Toronto game was a Toronto game. It's the kind of game that you kind of just take and throw in the trash. I wouldn't even watch tape from that game, honestly. Just a dud of a game. But like I said, to turn around and lose those 2 home games the way they did, and then come back and win against Montreal and then Nashville tonight is great. It's fantastic. It's really good stuff. 8-5-1. And they have Ottawa. They have Ottawa at home at 1:00. Should be a really, really fun game. But yeah, that's probably the first thought I had as well at Bullies Broad. Imagine not laying a dud at home over the weekend. It would be nice. It would have been nice. Two regulation losses as well. Not great. Crazy. Who's this? MLG_Stinger. Crazy how much Zegras, Dvorak, and Vladar have improved this team after no one thought much of the acquisitions. Yeah, it's funny you said that because I literally just got done saying how, I mean, even when the Flyers acquired Vladar, I wasn't great. I mean, I wasn't huge about it when, I mean, I don't think a lot of people were, but to be able to see him prove a lot of people wrong, including myself, at least to start the season, has been really nice. To get just competent goaltending, and I think that's something that I've said on this podcast before. If the Flyers can just get competent goaltending, they do have a shot to make the playoffs because they are not a bad hockey team. There are so many players that we can honestly get into that have just been really good to start the year. I mean, you got Cam York, who has 9 points in his first 11 games of the season, coming off injury. I think we might have Derek.
What's up?
What is up, my man?
Not too much. So what have we gotten into so far?
Going over the second comment with MLG_Stinger. He was just saying crazy how much Zegras, Dvorak, and Vladar has improved this team after no really thought much of the acquisitions. And I was just kind of going over the fact that, like, I started the show saying that, yeah, I mean, personally, I wasn't huge on the Vladar acquisition. I don't think a lot of people were. I mean, first, the unfamiliarity with it. I mean, I didn't really know much of him. I knew the name, but, I mean, I don't think a lot of people came into this season expecting what we've seen from Vladar. I personally was high on Zegras. We've always been high on Zegras, so it's not really a shock to me that Zegras is playing the way that he is in a new system and a fresh start. And I mean, I think Dvorak has been okay. Like he is what he is. Obviously, I'm not expecting him put up Zegras points. I'm not expecting that kind of production out of him. I know what he is, but like even knowing what he is, I don't think he's been good doing that. If that makes sense.
He's kind of just been a guy, but he's been played as if he's the guy, so it's kind of getting annoying, frankly, because I am like this almost all the time. I hate when coaches try to gaslight me. I hate when coaches sit here and take these really mediocre players and then just do their damnedest to convince me that they're actually fucking phenomenal. I really hate it every single time, and it's not a Tocchet thing because almost every coach in the league has their guys to where they're like, I will die for this motherfucker. And I'll be like, you should die for this motherfucker because he's ass.
It is funny, though, because I was just going to like kind of cut you off when you said that because it's not Tocchet. It's not a Tocchet thing. For somebody who's been watching the NHL for a long time, it's every single coach, like you said, has his 2 or 3 guys that you don't personally love as a fan, but he does. And it's that old school like play. He plays the right way. He plays a defensive game. He doesn't try to make crazy plays. When he has the puck on his stick, he gets the puck. It's puck deep. Like it's that shit. It's like playing. It's that. It's like he doesn't do anything crazy. He dumps the puck in. He plays good defense. He can move his feet. That's what it is that these coaches love so much, and then they fall in love with it. I think they kind of fall too much in love with it, and they kind of, especially like when you're trying to win games, like Taka has already admitted that he is. Like when you're in the zone of trying to win a hockey game, and you have a guy like Dvorak and go quote unquote. I mean, I don't think he's shutting anybody down per se, but like you can put him out there, and he's not going to make an egregious backhand pass into the neutral zone and turn it over. But I do understand what you're saying. It's very annoying because it's something that we've dealt with as Flyers fans for years. Like me screaming at the TV for them to stop playing Dale Weiss, or me screaming at the TV for them to stop playing Chris Vandevelde. And I know those guys weren't playing like top six line in the top six, but like screaming for them to finally get rid of Lawton. Although like we all knew that teams were offering value that we should have cashed in on, or just shit like that. Like the Flyers playing guys in spots that they shouldn't, like Andrew McDonald getting signed to that long contract and playing in the top four, despite him earning that contract playing in the bottom pair. You know what I mean? Like it's that Flyers just overplaying that player. Like it happens every fucking year, it seems like.
Yeah, like I'm not somebody who tends to disrespect defensive play. I like a lot of defensive players. But there's a difference to me from actual defensive players you want to be giving a ton of minutes to because they're really good and they help you out in a legitimate 200-foot game, and guys who are just getting a bunch of minutes because they dump the puck out, who are just getting a bunch of minutes because they don't do anything spectacularly in either end, but they're very good at doing cardio shifts.
That's what it is with Dvorak. I mean, once he crosses the blue line into the offensive zone, I mean, he's not really doing much for me. But other
he
than
reminds
that,
me of like younger Noah Cates, except he's 30.
Speaking of Noah Cates has been fucking awesome this year, dude.
He actually has been. I have to get over my negative bias with Noah Cates because Noah Cates used to be this guy that we were just talking about. Like Noah Cates as a younger person in the early Tortorella days was this dude. And
was the Dvorak with like no offensive handles once across the blue line.
Exactly. So I need to get that version of Noah Cates out of my head because that's not the guy who's here right now.
Yeah. No, he's been. I mean, I'm not gonna say and be like, oh, I've always known he's been a good player. But like you could always see the good 3C in him. I think you can always project the 2C maybe if he actually developed any kind of offensive prowess. But I think there was always a safe 3C in his game, no?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it would have been great if he was ever played as a 3C and not as a 1C for the last 3 years.
It doesn't help when you have no fucking centers for the last couple of years either.
Very true. And I think some of it is like, okay, so a 3C is a 3C when they are the third most played center on the team. But because Noah Cates has to be matched up against every team's top line, functionally that makes him the 1C.
Oh, absolutely. He's been he was the 1C. Was it last year?
Yeah, last year, the year before. It's kind of toned down a little bit.
Torts matched him up with the top guys on the other lines because he's somewhat. I mean, he wasn't like Couturier at fucking like 19 and 20 shutting, but he was like the best defensive center we had, and then kind of, I mean, every once in a while would show up offensively. So like, I don't totally blame him for playing him at the 1C the way he did, especially considering that we didn't. Like, Couturier was, I think, on IR. Frost was Frost. like you know what I mean? Like I don't blame it. Like I understand why you absolutely should not be playing Noah Cates on a top line. At least right now. I mean, I think maybe you could get there in like a crazy good like everything developmental would have to go the right way for him to reach that.
Is the way I talk. Not to cut you off, but the way I talk about whether Noah Cates can play on a top line or a second line, the very simple question is, who are his line?
Who's next to him? Yeah, I was going to say, who's next to him?
You know, Forrester and Brink, and this is no insult to Forrester, that's not enough to warrant putting Noah Cates on the top line. Like, I know you guys are really good defensively. I know you guys control the play territorially. I also know you don't score. Over long samples, you will not score. So, you're not going to be a top liner for me. At least none of you together are going to be a top liner. But if you're sitting here like, we're going to put him in between prime Martone and prime Michkov. Okay, Yeah, you can put him as the 1C then, because you could put me as the 1C and probably it'll be okay.
I was just going to say that's the only way that he would be able to be a 1C probably right now.
Yeah,
I mean, not right now, but
out, but you know, when you have two guys like that on the wing, you do get to say, well, maybe I just throw bumfuck whoever cares at 1C.
I mean, it's not. I mean, that's something that you've been saying for a really long time, and that's something that when you first said it, I remember thinking, like, sitting down and thinking about it, and I was I know a lot of people like just kind of sometimes brush off what you say because I think you can be like outlandish sometimes, but like I was sitting there like, no, Derek has a point there. Like there is no avenue where they go and grab a 1C. They're not bad enough to draft in the top 3. They're just not. And there are no 1Cs hitting the free agent market. Unless you're going out and grabbing a guy like Trevor Zegras who needs a fresh change of scenery, and the team is giving up on him, and you trade for him, and he somehow turns into a 1C. Unless you have a situation like that, we say it doesn't happen a lot, but I feel like every offseason a story like that comes around. But the only way that this happens, well, not this happens, but the only way that I see them, and I know it's not really, a lot of people are going to answer this and be like, well, what cup-winning team in the last 10 years has done this? But it really does seem like their plan is to just have the Avengers on the wing, like to take your words straight out of your mouth. To have the Avengers on the wing, and then like you don't have to have McDavid in the middle. You can have a Jet Luchenko who can be kind of a facilitator and a guy who can fly and get in as the defensive center on that line. But you don't have to have an insanely skilled 1C if your wingers are Porter Martone, Matvei Michkov, Tyson Forster, and Alex Bump, or Travis Konechny. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, hell, look at Tampa. Their top 2 centers when they won cups, because Stamkos had already been moved to the wing. So their top 2 centers when they won cups were Braden Point and Anthony Cirelli. Braden Point's a really good player. Braden Point will get 90 points when his line mate will give you 140. Like, he's running 50 points behind his line mate. He's not like a superstar 1C. I don't care what his top line billing says. That's Kucherov carrying him to being a 1C. So it has happened before. It has won cups before. When you have one of the best players in the world, then you can win a Stanley Cup. It's really that simple. It doesn't matter if it's at center, if it's at wing, if it's at defense. And the reason that it's almost always at center, I firmly believe this. In North America specifically, when you are one of the best players in the world growing up, when you are dominating your age group, they will move you to center. They take their best players and they move them to center, no matter what, every single time.
You're saying in North America?
Yes.
Okay.
So, you know, if Nathan McKinnon grows up and he's playing a wing when he's 10 years old, he ain't playing a wing when he's 11. They're moving him to center. Every single prospect like that is like that. Rarely do you see an elite winger coming out of North America. It happens every once in a while. Like Adam Hanna seems to be the exception, but it's very, very rare.
Kyle Connor?
Yeah, he was the last one. And even he went like mid-first round or some crazy
shit. Teens. Yeah, teens he went.
Like he really exploded in his D+1, and obviously Porter Martone, but it's rare. It'll happen once every couple of draft classes now.
Yeah.
And the alternative you'll see is with Russia, it happens all the time, because if they find an elite offensive talent in their system in Russia at all, they're going to move them to the wing. They're going to be like, I want this kid on the wing. I want him flying the zone. I want him getting breakout passes, and I want him trying to score goals. Like, they are taught to play that way. My best offensive players should play the position that cheats for offense. Whereas the North America way of thinking is like, my best players should get the puck the most times.
Yeah.
Neither is really wrong, but it does lead you to what position you end up teaching these kids to play years before they enter the NHL. And it's why you see a lot of North American players end up the best players or centers.
How do you feel? I kind of want to jump into Jet right now because that's kind of what we're talking about with the centers and the future. Obviously, we all know that he went back to golf. Or am I saying that right?
Guelph.
Guelph. Which I mean, I don't. Are they as bad as they were a couple years ago?
Actually, no. It's funny because they're okay this year. They certainly look a lot better with him around, and I'll get into why they look a lot better with him around in just a minute. But I was thinking just last night because I had thrown their games on. I was watching Jets shifts, and I was like, man, Guelph's really putting together an okay little team here, a decent little team here. And I just remembered when I got into that argument with the Guelph play-by-play guy on Twitter.
What the fuck? Oh, I remember that.
Because he was furious that I called Guelph a terrorist organization. And I was like, but you were a terrorist organization.
Yeah, he was mad that you were just like, yo, yeah. I had a couple of their fans come at me because I called them a bad team, and they were like, well, we're in the playoffs. I'm like, well, don't a lot of teams get in the playoffs?
Yeah, and it's funny because they're like, well, the Flyers are bad.
It's like, yeah, I know.
You see half the shit I say about the Flyers.
Yeah, I mean, you're preaching to the choir there. You're not telling me anything I don't already know.
Anything new.
Yeah, right? Like,
but anyway, so Guelph is starting to emerge as a half-decent hockey team. And most of the reason is because Jet Luchenko has decided to run a criminal syndicate out of Guelph. What he's doing to these children should get him arrested immediately. Like, I don't know what happened. The guy lessons are no longer mandatory. He is the teacher. He just decided something broke in him, and he stepped on that ice, and he said, my entire goal, Brady Martin style, is to embarrass everybody on this ice.
He's been like cutting through guys and like deking guys, and I'm seeing forehand backhand moves at the goal line. It's nice, dude.
I had Justin clip this, and so you guys can go look up Justin GM. He has a very Italian last name that I can't pronounce when it's not right in front of me. But Justin on Twitter, he clipped this. I had him clip it. I legitimately went into his DMs. I said, yo, here's the timestamp. Just go look at it. Thank me later. And he winds up clipping it. And it's this zone entry from his first game. He takes a puck on the wall. He is completely on the wall. He has no speed whatsoever. He is in the defensive zone. The opposing team has a whole neutral zone forecheck ready to go, and Guelph is changing. So this is the most obvious, all right, boys, we're mailing it in. We're going to dump the puck out. We're going to live another day. But Jet decided, no, I'm the guy. And he just decides 2 strides. He's going at lightning speed, which obviously he could always do that. But this time he does something different. After he picks up lightning speed, he's cutting to the middle of the ice like he's Nathan McKinnon. He's taken somebody's soul and flying around the net like he's Connor McDavid. Yes, he morphed midway through. He's flying around the net like he's Connor McDavid, comes out the other side of the net and sets up a slot shot for his teammate who just got on the ice after a line change. It was a line change, a whole totally nothing play, and Luchenko just decided, no, I'm going to 1v5, and we're going to get a scoring chance out of this. And he's doing this on like a shift-by-shift basis.
Let me ask you this, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here. This isn't. Oh my god, I can't talk. This isn't how I actually feel. I am just playing devil's advocate. Do you think, in a way, him doing this in junior is bad for his development? Him 1v5ing kids, as you're saying, and doing these things and getting away with being able to like pull off of a wall and make a crazy move against like 4 defenders and wait for your team to make a line change because you're just that much more skilled than the opponents, and then doing what he did. Like I said, I'm playing devil's advocate, and I didn't see the play that you're talking about. So, but like kind of I guess I have like PTSD from the Morgan Frost effect, like sending a guy back and letting him do things against kids that he probably shouldn't be playing against. And then coming back to the NHL and thinking he can get away with those said things. I think we talked a lot about him learning to score against pros is probably like the best way for him to develop, not going back and learning to score against kids that probably won't be playing pro hockey. No offense. Not all of them, but like most of them.
I do think there's something to what you're saying, and I think it's a genuine risk to what they did by sending him down, because a lot of this stuff he's not going to be able to do in the NHL. And the reason he's not going to be able to do it in the NHL is because he's not Nathan MacKinnon. If he could do it in the NHL, he'd be the greatest player of all time.
He wouldn't be in the OHL right now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like if he was able, like we saw him for 2 years now in the AHL. I know that's not something he's probably not. I mean, obviously when he gets more comfortable, he'll be able to make more plays, hold on to the puck longer. But I don't think he's been making like those kind of plays consistently at the NHL level. We'll see. I hope I'm fucking wrong. I hope I'm dead wrong. I hope somebody clips this and shoves it into my face.
And I will say, so there is one key difference between Frost and Luchenko. Frost kind of stagnated, going from his D+1 to his D+2. Like, he went in and he did some diabolical things to juniors in his D+1, and it was ridiculous. But then in his D+2, he didn't turn it up and go from 116 to 140. I'm not saying that's easy. I'm just saying he didn't really hit another level. Mm-hmm. With Luchenko, he's hitting another level. He wasn't doing this before. So maybe because of that, you are getting actual development here. Whereas with Frost, I really thought you were just giving time for bad habits to sink in. Mm-hmm. And also with Frost, the bad habits were, I think his big problem was that he played the kind of game that would require you to be Pavel Datsyuk at the NHL level. And if you were not Pavel Datsyuk at the NHL level...
Yeah, no pace.
Absolutely.
He played with no pace.
Exactly. And I do think you can do that in the NHL. It's just that you don't need good hands to do that. You don't need...
You need to be Kucherov. Yeah.
You need to be Kucherov. And
to go off... Hold on. To go off what you were saying, and I totally agree, but like the whole... Frost didn't develop the year after he had his big year. And he didn't. You're right. I have it right here. He had 112 in 17-18, and then the next year he went back in 2018-2019. He had 109. So he had less points. He played almost 10 less games, but didn't take that next step. Right. For Luchenko, it's like, yes, he's taking a next step, but like that next step isn't coming from the same level that Frost's next step was coming from. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a little easier for Luchenko to be developing because Luchenko is not developing from anything. You know, not from anything, but like there was no offensive game for him to be like, any kind of step would have been a good step for Luchenko offensively. You know what I'm trying to say there?
Oh, absolutely. And I will say what I've appreciated about Luchenko is I think he's made kind of like two different leaps. One in his D+1 and the other in his D+2 this year. And
this isn't me shitting on him, by the way. This is not me shitting on Luchenko. I like Luchenko.
Going from his first post-draft season, or actually, let's scratch that. Let's start in his draft year. Like, Jet Luchenko in his draft year, why I wanted to Bud Dwyer when we drafted him. Which, it was because he basically did not know how to make plays. He did not know how to find lanes that weren't readily available to him. And he did not know how to play as a skilled player, as crazy as that sounds. Like, basically, all of his points in his draft year could have been attributed to one of two things. The power play or retrieving a dump in and making a play off of that.
With his speed.
Yes. So you had the speed and you had like a legit hockey IQ there. It's just that you didn't have a skill level and you didn't have a deception quality. Like, he was the least deceptive player this side of Alexander Barkov. And that's just not going to work. Well, in his drafted +1 season, his first season post-draft, and you even saw this in his first training camp with the team, he really took a significant step over the summer and carried it through the year as a deceiver. He became very, very good at faking his shot. Sometimes he would fake his shot in situations where he should actually take it, but that's another thing entirely. He got very good with the fake shots, with looking off defenders, with curling off, with using like toe drags to get under their sticks and make the pass. Like, he just added a layer of creativity to his passing game that wasn't there before. Yeah. And then he goes into his draft +2 year this year, and he takes another leap. I think this was a little bit visible in the NHL and in training camp, but not all the way visible. And it's now more visible in Guelph. He now protects pucks. He is very good protecting the puck and even making little moves with it. And his hands used to hold him back. His ability to hold on to the puck used to be a major question mark. Now it's not. Now he is exploiting a legitimate strength he has, which is holding the puck against pressure defenses. And when you manage to develop that linearly, I'm pretty impressed. Because everybody's always talking about how, like, development is not linear. And it's like, yeah, okay, that's kind of true. But for Jetluchenko, development has been very linear. Very, very linear. It was like, I have this weakness in my game, and now I don't. I had this weakness in my game, and now I don't. Now, I don't think he'll ever shoot, like, a lot. I just don't think he's wired that way.
Either.
I also don't want him to. I don't need to teach this kid to be Owen Tippett. I hate the first one already. I really don't need a second one in my life.
And, like, especially, like, considering that, like, I'm not going to force him into a shot that's probably not good. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but, like, against NHL goaltenders, like, I would rather him just doing the thing that he's more comfortable with, and that's facilitating. And, I mean, as a coach, your job is to put players with other players that would make them better. And if you put fucking Luchenko with like a Konechny, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, let him play with Michkov, let him create with shooters, like, put him with, honestly, dude, like, a Tippett and the Michkov would not be a terrible line with him, because, like, two dudes who, like, once you get the puck, they're probably shooting it, and that's probably what's best for Luchenko, or dudes who will shoot the puck, because he is a facilitator at heart.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it's not like defenses are going to be able to read that, because it's like, all right, I know he's passing the puck. I just don't know which way he's passing it. And I know that either way I'm fucked. So this is a problem for me.
And I will say this. I thought during his second stint with the Flyers this year, during, like, the regular season games, his subtle passes, especially the exit zones, I mean, I'm not saying, like, the pass directly to the guy who is exiting the zone, but even the pass to get it to that guy, that extra pass to free up the puck, to give the next guy who touches the puck enough time to get the puck up ice. He makes that pass extremely well for a young player. Like, I understand what coaches mean when they say he plays like a 34-year-old defensively and, like, IQ wise. Like, he is extremely smart. I've seen him make so many backhand, saucer, subtle little tight area passes to exit zones or to get into free ice in the neutral zone. That has really impressed me, and I only think that is going to improve as he starts playing more pro games. Like, right now, I think go down there in the OHL and just work on your playmaking, work on your hands, like you said, work on your puck protection. I think that's what he's doing so far. But the fact that he's already a really good subtle zone exiter or facilitator, like I just said, early in his career already at the NHL level is extremely important and exciting to see.
It's a really important skill too, just because, I mean, there is one guy who is really high end at that on the Flyers right now, and he happens to be a winger, so you don't see it quite as much. It's Michkov.
Yeah.
Now, Michkov sometimes goes a little bit mad scientist and tries some shit he probably shouldn't while he's doing it. But
You know who I think is better right now at that?
What's up?
And I said, do you know who I think is better at that right now? And he's also a winger right now.
Who's that?
Trevor Zegras. His wall
Zegras
passes,
is great at it too. Yeah.
His one-touch passes off the wall to free it up the space, or free it up to the guy that's flying through the neutral zone. It's
funny because the one thing Zegras is better at than that is being the guy flying through the neutral zone.
I know.
I want him receiving those passes.
Yeah, I know. I hear you, dude. Like it's so frustrating that he's not with Michkov, and Michkov isn't giving him those bump passes. It really is, dude.
Because it's like, okay, so yes, Matvey, not a very fast skater. But we don't have to beat that dead horse even further into the ground. The reason he's not a very fast skater is because he's really strong and he's really good under contact. So it's like where Trevor Zegras, his one limitation as a winger is he kind of gets blown up sometimes, where it's like he would make that pass under pressure if he still had full control of his bodily functions, but he doesn't because the defenseman is sending him flying to Narnia.
He doesn't even get knocked over. He just gets he loses his balance easily.
He just gets bothered really easily. He's kind of like cross-sport reference here, whatever, but he's kind of like Devontae Smith, where it's like he's so good in terms of his route running and his like skill level as a receiver to where he's usually going to embarrass you if you're a cornerback, but sometimes as a cornerback, you're going to be able to press him. You're going to be able to get in his grill and knock him off his route if you actually get your hands on him. That's kind of Trevor Zegras.
And then he's still mossing your shit.
Yeah, and he's still mossing your shit. So it's like, yeah, that's kind of Trevor Zegras, where it's like, technically, theoretically, if you get your hands on him, he's kind of in trouble. But it's just so damn hard to get your hands on him.
Dude, he's been so fucking good this year, man. Like, I was at the bar tonight, and I'm watching the pregame shit, and like I'm watching them warm up, and like he's on the bench, like getting ready, and I turn to my boy, I'm just like, dude, I sometimes forget this kid's a flyer, and this kid has 15 points in his first 15 points in his first 14 games as a flyer. He didn't have any tonight, unfortunately, but it's so exciting that we finally have somebody, and I think I saw a tweet today that explained it really well. It's like the modern day NHL skill that we finally have. And I know Michkov is that as well. I'm not saying that he isn't that.
He both is and he isn't, honestly, because I was saying this in like a reply thread with people. Michkov's game is so subtle in a way. So if he's not scoring, he's going to aggravate people who don't watch the game like that, because it's like, all right, what the fuck are you doing? Even though he is doing things, it's just not the kind of thing that most people are going to be noticing.
Yeah.
Whereas with Zegras, it's hard not to notice him because he is that kind of skill. Like,
the play styles are different. Like, you make a great point, because my dad said it during the Canadian game. We're sitting there watching, and Zegras is doing his thing on the wall. I mean, he's like stick handling, spinning, head up, like doing his thing back and forth along the wall. And my dad's sitting there, like he's like, and I quote, he's sitting there, he goes, "Jesus Christ, this kid's fucking ridiculous with the puck." And I was like, that's Trevor. That's how he's elite. I was like, Dad, he reminds me of Patrick Kane, the way he stick handles and he has his head up and the way he's able to pass the puck. And my dad's sitting there, yeah. He's like, that's really how I thought Michkov was going to be. And I was like, I don't want to like critique what he's saying, because like he doesn't know as much, so I'm not going to like be an asshole and be like, well, actually. But like, I wanted to be like, well, that's just not his place. That's just not like, if you were expecting Michkov to be this puck carrier that like speeds through the neutral zone and like dangles through, dude, that's not his game. Like, he's more of a wall guy. He's more of a, let me put you on my fucking back and make a saucer pass across the ice or score a dirty goal. Like, that's Michkov's game.
He is like a neo power forward. Like, he is a power forward from the future dropped into the modern day. And he's going to do some crazy shit as far as the way he thinks the game and the passes he makes, but he's not going to wow anybody with a lot of the moves he makes. Now, every once in a while, because he does have that level of skill, he'll pull it out. But that is kind of a last resort for him. He would much rather sneak his way through defensive layers. He would much rather play a very team-oriented game and anticipate his way to the net and just make ridiculous passes all game. Whereas Zegras is Patrick Kane. He is legitimately, he just is Patrick Kane. It's crazy.
He reminds me a lot of him, dude. The way he stick handles and the way he can pass the puck.
And I was going to get into this. I think besides the shooting 25%, and I don't even mean just him. I mean that Demidov's teammates right now are shooting 25% when he's on the ice. It's fucking crazy.
Holy shit.
Besides that, and obviously everybody's going to look good under that light. The other thing people were going to have to kind of prepare themselves for is like, this has always been the sort of dichotomy with these two. Demidov has always been the more loud player, as it were. The player that's going to go and try and take somebody's soul and do the crazy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like I remember it was Ska preseason in Michkov's draft plus 1 year. And he was on a line with Demidov. He was actually the center for that line. Michkov was. And Demidov, I swear to God, he broke somebody's ankles, and then he realized he got too close to the net after breaking the defender's ankles. So he turned back and then went for the net again, broke somebody's ankles again before he finally shot the puck.
He was honestly just toying with dudes over there at that point. They both were.
It's so funny because like Michkov's version of toying with people is just casually making the best pass you've ever seen. Whereas Demidov's version of toying with people is like, I am going to kill you and then jumpstart your heart and kill you again.
I'm going to give you hope and then take it away again. Both extremely fun players to watch. Like I hate the fact that we're like weirdly. I mean, I guess we're not even pitted against each other, but I hate the fact that like there's even a weird energy between. Like, I just want to root for both dudes. Like, both dudes are fucking fun. It's so stupid.
Comparison is the thief of joy, especially for those hockey nerds, where it's like, yes, absolutely, we enjoy the thrill ride that is like a Demidov or a Zegras shift by shift, but also for the people who get really into the sport, Michkov is catnip. Like the way he creates offense, the little things he does, like you can't get enough of it. It's fucking great.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's only going to, I mean, we'll get into him a little bit. I know a lot of people read your article, but I do want to.
A lot of people commented without reading.
I mean, a lot of people do that in general.
Oh yeah. It's so funny though, because a lot of times I go long on these pieces. So I'm hitting like 2,500 word pieces. And these dudes will come in reading the title and be like, allow me to provide my opinion that you definitely did not get to. And it's like, all right, man, I'm not saying this against you, but like, why? Why do you just
read the bitch
that you have some special level of insight that I've never considered before? Why do you just like the out of hand?
Oh, like or like I saw one right underneath of it, like Michkov came in fat. I'm like, all right, dude. Like, yeah, I obviously you didn't read the fucking article and you're just saying shit. Like, it's so annoying. You know,
it's 9-4 Flyers in his 5v5 minutes, and he came in fat. What is it going to be? 15-4 Flyers if he's not fat? Like,
nobody thinks he's played amazing, and nobody thinks he's played awful. Like, he's a 20-year-old kid who started slow because he came into training camp a little behind the eight ball. Like, who gives a fuck, dude? It's November 6th. Like, people need to shut the fuck up.
And I think they did a horrible job of explaining this as the organization. This would be an actual.
I just think people like who cares? Like I don't need it explained to me. Like people just run with shit. You know what I mean? Like I don't care.
Jared McCain, when he came back yesterday, was in perfectly good physical condition. Like had no problem running up and down the floor. You know what he couldn't do? Hit a jump shot.
And he's not going to be able to for probably a month.
Exactly. Elite shooter all of a sudden can't hit a jump shot. And the reason is because it's like there's a difference between being athletically in shape
and then in game shape. Absolutely.
Exactly. Physically
100%.
ready to play NBA basketball or NHL
For sure.
hockey. Like Michkov came in, to me, it was pretty obvious. Like he's not there all the way mechanically right now.
For sure. I mean, like you're not saying anything transcendent here. Like everyone who watches sports or has grown up playing sports understands that like just some people get off the slow starts because of some reasons. Like if he's playing the same way he did in October, in February or March, yeah, I'll hop on here and start talking about it. But like until then, like just like the fucking Christmas break hasn't even happened yet, people. Like Thanksgiving hasn't happened yet, man. I haven't had any turkey yet.
I made this joke, but I think it's actually a real thing. Flyers fans are so used to Travis Konechny, they think there's no such thing as slow starters. Like they are so used to Mr. October that it's just like, wait, do you mean some of the best players in the league don't even know the month of October exists? Like, bro, Artemi Panarin doesn't know what the fucking October is.
I mean, like there are a lot of players right now that are having great starts. Quinn Hughes is one of them.
Yeah, Quinn Hughes. Apparently, he's morbidly obese. If we're going by the standards of this dialogue, Evan Bouchard, obese. Nikita Kucherov might be under point per game after this Vegas game concludes. Nikita freaking Kucherov, who just put up 140 and 130 points 2 years in a row, is under point per game because he was in the car with Matt Fay.
It's ridiculous.
I think that's why.
It's ridiculous, dude.
He was the one driving the car. He was the one that got in the accident. The Hangover 4, okay? That's what this is. Matt Fay and Kucherov were trying to get to training camp, and it became the Hangover 4.
Before we get into anything deeper, we are about 50 minutes into this one. Crazy to think we're already 50. I just kind of like, obviously it's been a while since we've been on the pod. I kind of just want to go over some things that we possibly missed. I mean, obviously we didn't miss this because this happened last year, but like just kind of go back. I'm just gonna kind of like summarize some things. Grebenkin, obviously, we just watched him score his first NHL goal last game. Traded him, got him in a trade from Toronto for Scott Lawton. Always want to kind of remind people of that, and a 2027 first round pick. So we got a 2027 first round pick and Nikita Grebenkin for Scott Lawton, a 2025 fourth and a 2027 sixth. And then 4 months after that, March to June. March, April, May, June. 3 months. Trevor Zegras, Ryan Poehling, a 2025 second and a 2026 fourth for Trevor Zegras. Obviously, we have the Penguin trade during the draft. And then some second round picks swapped with Seattle, the Tucker Robinson, and then John Avon trade. Obviously, the Fedotov dump, which is something that we obviously didn't get to on the podcast, but I just kind of wanted to acknowledge it. We don't have to get into it. It's a very, very simple trade there. Obviously, the Ryan Ellis, another cap dump trade. We got Grundstrom, who's been really good in the AHL for the Phantoms this year, and then Guriev, who I think has also been pretty solid for them down there. And then obviously the latest trade that just happened, which I want to dive right into because I want to hear your thoughts personally, was the Samu Tuamala for Christian Kyrou trade from the Dallas Stars.
Okay, so
Christian
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I don't know how on earth we sent the Mestis bound Samu Tuamala to Dallas in exchange for our future number one power play quarterback. I don't know how this happened, but somehow it did. Christian Kyrou had precisely zero organizational clout with Dallas, and there's a good reason for that. It's because he's small, and he's light, and he's not very physical. And so if you don't immediately hit the scene and just hit the ground running and beat Lane Hudson on day one, you are canceled. in the mind of NHL and even AHL coaches. Like, the minute Christian Kyrou took a second to have to adjust his game and get his bearings, he was canceled. And he just kind of stayed that way for a couple of years. He spent a couple of years in exile.
Oh my God. I'm sitting here like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm not saying he tweeted anything improper, but
No.
in the game of hockey, he was canceled.
I mean, I just had a conversation with you about fucking Samuel. Like, that trade doesn't really make any sense for them. Like, another winger. Like, I understand he wasn't really going to play here, but where the fuck is he going to play there?
I have no idea. I remember you tweeted their top 9 at me or texted their top 9 to me, and I was like,
yeah.
Is Duchesne gonna go? You're like, no, they extended him.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, whatever. We got a pretty cool, fun. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to be fucking Lane Hudson, but I mean, it's pretty cool seeing him have 5 points in his first 3 games with the Phantoms. I mean, a goal and 4 assists, shooting 20%, dude.
Have you watched any of those games?
Yeah, a couple of them. He's not like amazing defensively, but I mean, he's definitely somebody that we could use on a fucking, because he could definitely run a unit. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, he could probably run a unit better than anybody we have up doing it now.
Although I will say, we need to talk about Cam York.
You know, it's funny. I was just on mute for a while, and you know why I was on mute? Because I needed to pull up Natural Stat Trick, so I could regale everybody with what is downright Cam York propaganda. And we'll talk about how he's achieving these numbers. But first, we're going to do a little bit of an info dump.
Let me hear it.
Cam York, and this is in the entire season, his entire season of 11 games played. So we know the boxcar stat. He's got 9 points in 11 games. And yet, what he's doing outside of that might be worse if you're other teams. Right now, he is sitting at a 57% expected goal share, despite leading the team in 5v5 minutes since he came back, I believe. That would be, I don't have the league leaders up right now. I just have the Flyers. That is leading the Flyers, and it is also probably among the league leaders in defensemen. His actual goal count, this used to be a struggle for Sanheim and York, where it's like they would have the worst goaltending of all time, partially because they would both be pinched into a play and give up 2-1-0s. That isn't happening anymore. He is up 10-7. The Flyers are up 10-7 in actual goals that appear on the scorecard in these 11 games over these 5v5 minutes. His power play unit, as we know, has been clicking, going ballistic. Shots on goal total, he is controlling 56% of the shots on goal for a team that actually doesn't realize that you're allowed to shoot on goal. Like, I don't think the Flyers are aware of this. Somebody's going to have to go tell them. But Cam York's aware. He's one of the few people aware.
Unless it's a fucking point shot.
Yes, unless it's a fucking point shot. He doesn't want any of those. Said,
and by the way, people, that noise is Derek's mouse that you're hearing.
Yeah. That's why I went on mute. By the way, is because I knew that mouse would terrorize people.
No, you're good.
Anyway, so long story short, with the info dump here, what he's doing to NHL teams will be studied for decades to come. Like, just completely obliterating these poor elite athletes. And the way he's doing it has basically been York Unleashed, which is he was drafted as the puck mover once upon a time. He was drafted as the guy who was extremely slick and super cerebral and a great passer. That was kind of beat out of him over a long period of intense suffering brought upon by John Tortorella. Like, the way John Tortorella hated Cam York was honestly special. We'll never see anything like it.
He looks so much more freer in this system.
He does. And I don't know what it was, but Tortorella just looked at York and said, I don't care what anybody says. You're not an offensive guy. don't you even try to be an offensive guy in my presence.
It's weird, too, because Sanheim was like kind of the opposite. Like he kind of encouraged Sanheim to be that guy who jumped up on the play, because you saw a lot more of Sanheim kind of getting aggressive in the offensive zone during Torts' like first full year.
You know what I think it was? One of York's first game up with Torts, after they do the go back to the AHL, you scrub and feel bad about yourself routine. One of his first game back, it was against Vegas. He was killing it that whole game. And it's the end of the third period. And he tries to put a move on a guy on a breakout. He just tries to absolutely dance this dude. If he pulled it off, it would have been like dangle of the year. Mm-hmm. But he didn't pull it off. He turned the puck over. And they scored in the closing seconds. And I'm pretty sure from that moment onward, it was like, yeah, Cam York, I never want to see you attempt an offensive play again.
I don't doubt it. I mean, I really don't want to sit here and play the fucking guessing game about what Tortorella did with the player, but like I don't fucking doubt it. Like I really don't. It's something that you can go back and possibly say happened because you're looking at him now under a different coach and being like, yeah, he looks like he's at least been given the fucking green light to be a little bit more aggressive. Like I saw him make a play today, and I was sitting at the bar when I saw this, and the TV was pretty far away. Entered the zone, and he was like below the goal line. And instead of like the play that I've seen him make a million times when he's down there, just kind of like rim the puck around, he took a second and went on his backhand and continued to skate the puck and with his head up and passed it. I'm like, it sounds so simple, and I sound so stupid saying it. Like, oh, a player went through his backhand and kept his head up and continued skating. But like that's something I feel like I have not seen, especially from a Flyers defenseman who's pinching up in the zone, holding onto the puck and looking for fucking passes instead of just like entering the zone, and if you don't have a clean shot right away, chipping the puck around the boards, hoping for somebody to go win a board battle. Like it was nice to see him turn, corral the puck, look up, continue skating because he's a good skater, and find a pass. So definitely noticeable. Like you don't even need these advanced stats, although they are great to like confirm your eye test. But just like watching as a fan this year compared to last year, it is night and day. His play for me personally. I mean, again, you don't even have to look at his stats: 9 points in 11 games. You don't even look at that. Like if you just go look at him actually playing, he looks 10 times better.
And even just his willingness to get off the blue line or to dance the winger, defend him at the blue line. Like, oh my God, it was probably 4 times tonight where he gets the puck at the blue line and he is putting a move on a guy and getting off that line, running down into the play, finding a pass or getting a shot off. That was the assist to Michkov on Michkov's goal. York activates into the play.
Beautiful play.
Protects the puck through contact, hook pass under a stick to Matvey, who buries it. I mean, Cam York is not doing that a calendar year ago. No shot. He wasn't doing that 2 calendar years ago. Absolutely no shot. And yet that's kind of always the guy I've seen with him. Like, yes, he's a solid defender. He's always been a solid defender. And that was kind of the allure with him, is because he really does have a pretty long array of moves as a offensive defenseman. Like he's not Lane Hudson, he's not Quinn Hughes. But once you get off that the elite guys with the puck on their stick as defensemen, you probably get to Cam York as far as his skill with the puck. He is that good with the puck, and you're seeing it this year. And I would not be shocked if you keep seeing it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people listening to you say that would probably laugh at you, or especially fans that aren't fans of the Flyers would probably laugh at you. But I think a lot of what you're saying has been hidden by the system or the coach that he's been in for the last couple of years. I think the next 2 or 3 months is really going to open up the world of Cam York for a lot of people. I think you hit the nail on the head, though. Like obviously, I'm not putting him in the tier of like the Quinn Hugheses or the Bouchards or any of those guys with the puck. But if you take a tier below, I think you can possibly make the argument that he should be in there. Yeah, I mean, I think he could be the quarterback guy. I personally don't think Drysdale is the guy, at least not right now. But Drysdale is somebody that I do want to get into before we end up wrapping this up in a little bit, because I was thinking, and we haven't talked about Drysdale and his improvement of play is a little bit different from York's, because York is developing in a different way, because I already liked York's defensive game and two-way game. It was just kind of adding offense and adding a little bit of confidence in him stepping up in the play with the puck on his stick. Drysdale, it was nothing a couple years ago when we first traded from him. It was like, you don't have a defensive game, you don't have a neutral zone game, you don't have a stick game in the defensive zone, you don't even have an offensive game, you can't run a power play. Like, it was a lot of question marks surrounding Drysdale a couple years ago. And to get where we're at now, or at least where I'm at now with Seacrest, why the fuck did I just say that? With Drysdale, I can't. That's my guy. But where I am now with Seacrest, I just did it again. Where I am now with Drysdale, it's night and day again with him from a couple years ago. Especially, I mean, not offensively. I think there's a lot of work to do there, and we might not even get to where we want to get with him there. But in terms of puck moving and his defensive play from 2 years ago, it's so good, Derek, and I know you'll be able to explain it a little bit more in detail, but in terms of his positioning, in terms of his aggressiveness, in terms of him using his legs and his skating ability to evade pressure, it seems like he knows what he is now. Does that make sense?
No, exactly. That's exactly how I feel. And I'm not all that surprised that the offensive game hasn't quite come around, because even as a prospect, I feel like the offensive game wasn't really what people were after. It was purely the two-way game with a little side of offense, and maybe he becomes kind of deal. But what he has become, I mean, Gustav Forsling, younger Miro Heiskanen, the easiest way to explain it is almost as like a gameplay loop. Like, just imagine a shift starts when the opposing team has the puck and Jamie Drysdale's on the ice. They're going to first try to enter the offensive zone with control, except they are going to fail miserably, because Drysdale is going to make some play with his stick to break up the pass, or he's going to poke check the puck away from the carrier, or he's going to flat out just body up a guy and take the puck away that way. And then the puck is loose, and Drysdale's going to win that race to the puck using that skating ability. And then after he wins the race to the puck, the forecheckers are going to proceed to be embarrassed as he just spins off of all of them, makes them look silly, and then calmly finds a breakout pass to a Flyers forward, and all of a sudden, the rest of the shift is spent in the offensive zone. That is like the average Drysdale shift right now. It is take puck away, get puck, make dudes miss, hit a breakout pass, profit.
Yep.
And
word for word, exactly what his year's been so far.
You know what? You could do that for me playing 25 minutes a night for the rest of freaking time, man.
Absolutely. I think it's very undervalued in the Twitter world.
It is, because it's like a lot of those won't make highlight reels, even though some of the things he does under defensive pressure really should make highlight reels. Like, some of the things he does on retrievals when the forecheck coming after him and the way he makes people miss and finds that easy breakout, that is so special. There are so few dudes in the league who can do that as easily as he can do it. And yeah, his offensive reads right now, they're not there. Even his offensive movement, in a way, it's a little bit tough to explain, but he lacks a fluidity that York has. York is really smooth with the puck, and it shows up in the way he can legitimately dangle people. You're not going to see that out of Drysdale. You're not really going to see him like dangle somebody on the blue line. You will see it out of York, and my guess is if either one of them blows up offensively, and one of them all of a sudden just becomes Zach Werenski, it'd be York. York has that next level offensively. I don't really know that Drysdale does. I also don't really care if Drysdale does, because everything he does besides that is, it could very easily be in an elite level.
Oh, 100%. And it makes me sit here and think, if he continues to go this way, like, that is people are going to go crazy over this, but if he continues to develop the way he's developing, this is like Norris level defenseman play, in my opinion. Like, this is exactly the type of defenseman you want playing 30 minutes a night in your top four if you're trying to win a Stanley Cup. Like, this is the type of guy. Yeah, obviously you want him to be able to score 50 points. I mean, that of course everyone does, but for a puck moving defenseman who can skate like him and play defense like him, you want a guy in your fucking lineup who can do that every day of the week.
Hell yeah. It's like the Jared Spurgeon situation. I remember I was just getting into hockey when I read this, and it was like an evolving hockey article. It was talking about, the premise was, if there was such a thing as an analytics Hall of Fame, or like if analytics could go up and re-examine the careers of dudes and be like, you know what? You didn't see it at the time. He should have been a Hall of Famer. Who would that be? And the article was about basically the perfect example, and he's still playing right now, is Jared Spurgeon. If analytics had a say in Hall of Fame voting, Jared Spurgeon would be like the easiest hockey Hall of Famer of all time. If you ask those sorts of data points, like who the best defensemen in the league are, you will get Erik Karlsson, Victor Hedman, and this is his generation, of course, and Jared Spurgeon. He would be number 3. I think he's number 2 over Karlsson, actually. I think he's number 2 to Hedman in a lot of those categories. And you would never know that based on, like, you know, the box score stuff, or even just watching him play. But he is the type of player that analytics just happens to pick up on extremely well and be like, yo, guys, you're kind of missing how when he's on the ice, the Wild become a super team.
Mm-hmm.
And if Drysdale can be that, where it's like, yeah, he's going to be a little quiet about it, but when he's on the ice, you're a freaking super team. I don't need anything more.
or even this, it's like, yeah, when he's on the ice, guess what you're doing when he's on the ice? You are exiting your zone with clean possession and getting up ice, and you are in the offensive zone. Yeah, he might not be scoring 50 points, but he is giving you the ability to exit your zone cleanly and get into an offensive zone with possession. Like, if he's feeding Michkov and Martone on rushes the other way with Zegras in the middle, I don't give a fuck if he can't put up 50 points or 60 points, if he can't put up 30, 40. You know what I mean? Like, do that, exit the zone, do what you've been doing, and give it the puck to the skill guys up front. That's all I'm asking you to do. We can go find an offensive defenseman. We can go find a guy, which is my next question, Derek. We can go find a guy that can play next to you, because Nick Seeler is not your longtime partner, even though I like Nick Seeler for what he brings and what he makes. He is a good hockey player. But honestly, long-term, like, where does Nick Seeler fit in on this team? Like, Andre is playing well. Ristolainen is still a thing, even though I do think they're going to look to trade him if he can somewhat stay healthy. But what does a future Drysdale partner look like? Because I think, other than obviously a 1D and a 1C, which everyone on Twitter says, oh, the Flyers need a 1D and 1C. Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate you. Every team is looking for a 1D and a 1C. No shit, Sherlock. But other than that obvious fucking need, I think the defenseman for Drysdale is probably one of their most important decisions to make in the next year or two. Whenever you make that decision.
Zach was saying this, and I think he's totally right. If you can get your longtime Drysdale,
get closer to the mic.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right, let me stop chilling. If you can get your longtime Drysdale partner, you have a top 4.
A really good one too.
Mm-hmm. Your top 4 right now as a contending team looks like York, Sanheim, X, Drysdale. You need to fill in that X. And Zach was saying this. Now, it's funny. once upon a time, I could have swore that the X would have to look like Nick Seeler, but good. Not to insult Nick Seeler like that, but like a souped-up version of Nick Seeler. That's once upon a time what I thought we were going to need for Jamie Drysdale.
Yeah.
I no longer think that's what we need at all. I think you can have Drysdale be the sort of anchor, the guy that allows the offensive guy to just go and do his thing.
Yep.
The like Bowen Byrams of the world. I think Drysdale is somebody who can prop up the, we'll call it, messy parts of Byram's game and just allow Byram to do his thing, acting as like a fourth forward. And Byram's just the one that gets a lot of talk as being available, but he's really a stand-in for the concept of, I think there is a wide open hole very easily filled by a second pair left-handed defenseman with power play one upside. That's what you need. If you get that guy to be partnered with Drysdale, you have your top pair. You have now all of a sudden you'll have your top four. You'll have your power play defenseman situated. Your defense will be more or less ready to contend.
Yeah. And I'll throw this in here. I personally think the archetype, because you just got done saying, which I couldn't agree more. Like 2 years ago, we were probably sitting here on this pod, and the archetype of player that we wanted with Drysdale was, like you said, a Nick Seeler, younger, a little bit faster, a little bit more skilled with the puck, but same kind of archetype. Now, it's kind of the opposite. But I would argue that it's easier to go out and find a guy like a Bo Byram, like a guy who is offensive first, but might not be the best, like a Ghost kind of, maybe not the exact type as Ghost, but sort of the same situation. I would argue that it's easier to go find that guy than is to find the archetype that Drysdale is becoming.
Oh, 100%. Because what Drysdale's becoming is the guys that allow those guys to have jobs. Like,
exactly.
Ghost is a great player, but Ghost was a great player when he came to the Hurricanes. And he came to the Hurricanes as a team that like really could insulate him and kind of protect him from his weaknesses while allowing him to really add value through his strengths. They needed his strengths. He needed his weaknesses covered up. And it was a perfect symbiotic fit that way. And because of what Jamie Drysdale is becoming, the Flyers are in a situation where they can look at a guy like a Byram or whoever else along that ilk happens to come available and go, I don't really care if you play defense well at all because I have a guy named Jamie Drysdale who is going to erase all of your mistakes.
Now, do you personally think that every defensive pair not in the NHL, but do you think every defensive pair is like that in a way where you kind of have to not cover the other one's weaknesses? I know you can have a pair where two guys might not have weaknesses that the other one has to cover, but realistically, you're going into creating a pair where the two guys aren't fucking Lidstrom, where you don't have to cover it. You know what I mean? So do you look at each defensive pair in that way, or do you think that's just like a pair-to-pair kind of situation where you base it off of the pair that you're dealing with? Or do you go into every single defensive pair personally with the idea of, hey, let me max this guy's weaknesses with this guy's strengths?
I think NHL teams can get a little caught up in category 2, go too far in that direction. The way I look at it is I need a pair that will first complement each other's strengths, but then second, mitigate each other's weaknesses. That's like the ideal defensive pairing where it's like Devontae's and Cale Makar. Devontae's does a lot to cover up for Cale Makar's spiritual journeys. Like, and even sometimes the opposite, where it's like Devontae's will make some stupid ass read that he thought it was a 400 IQ idea at the time, and it turned out to be a 4 IQ idea. Well, Cale Makar, being the best skater on earth, can just flag down that 2-on-1 that Devontae's was giving up because he galaxy brained the shit. And they are, in that way, covering up for each other's weaknesses, but they're also really complementing each other's strengths, where it's like Cale Makar can dominate the puck because Devontae's isn't really that, but Devontae's can kind of do his thing, slipping into space and activating into the play and trusting that Cale Makar's skill will get him the puck. So those two kind of have this synergistic relationship where it's not just one guy is an anchor and the other guy is a sports car. Mm-hmm. There are areas of the game where you're going to mask my weaknesses, but at the same time, there are other areas of the game where my strengths are going to accentuate yours. And when I look at what I want with Drysdale, I need somebody who can skate with him. And I don't mean like, we'll just use Nick Seeler to beat up on him a little bit to make the point. The problem with Nick Seeler right now is if Drysdale wants to make a breakout pass and then rush up the ice, that's kind of hard to do because that would require Nick Seeler to then make the breakout pass. Or I'm sorry, if Drysdale wanted to make a D-to-D pass and then rush up the middle lane of the ice and try to be a forward, you would need a defenseman who can hit him on that return pass, and Seeler really can't do that. So you really, in my opinion, you don't just need an offensive guy. You need a guy who is going to help Drysdale in the defensive zone to the extent that I can make those same breakout passes. Like, I think the reason Ghost always got himself in trouble is because as brilliant as of an offensive defenseman as he is, he wasn't all that great of a puck mover. Like, he wasn't bad at it per se, but with Ghost, it was more so just like, get me in the offensive zone and I will become the greatest thing you've ever seen. And okay, that's very fun, but how many teams can actually just get you in the offensive zone just like that?
Yeah, now other teams have a Makar who's carrying the puck up the ice.
Exactly.
Or Zegras. We do fishes.
Not every team can just be like, let me punt this shit up to Michkov so he can go tween his legs off the bump pass to the middle of the ice.
Crazy. Dude, he made some passes tonight that were like, damn, nobody saw that? All right.
I know. It's every, like, I should get.
He'll be all right.
We should get Zach to do this. If only Zach had the time. But like,
I have the fucking time, but everything blacks me the fuck out, man. ESPN Plus sucks.
Same here.
I was ready to go the other day, clipping that Montreal game for you.
I would just love like a season-long mixtape of Michkov passes. It would be like 40 minutes long, and it would be the most wonderful 40 minutes anyone has ever watched.
Do you know what I could do? I could like wait a week or like a week and a half and then go back to like 3 games, do it for them, and then do it for the 3 games that just passed. So like you'll get the clips, but it'll be like a week after the games happen.
Oh, that's perfect. Honestly, that works just as well because I'm mostly thinking about like, season's over, dog days of summer. God, it would be nice to slip on.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, I'm trying to ramp ship the fuck up now. So like, we're gonna get some blogs out. We're gonna get podcasts out every week. We will be. I don't know if I'm gonna do. I don't know if I love Thursdays. To be honest with you, I have a lot of shit to do on Thursdays, and Tuesdays are not the best days for me either. So I'm thinking either Mondays. I'm thinking Mondays or Wednesdays as our new. I don't know how they work for you. Like I said, some of these shows might be solo. I don't know. Derek's not going to be around for every single one. I am going to try to get other people on. Obviously, Danny come back whenever Danny wants to come back. But yeah, like I said, solo pod, have other people on. Derek's hopefully going to be on as much as he possibly can. But we are rounding up to about hour 24 here. So I do want to get a couple more things in here before we do leave. Obviously, the Flyers just activated Urson off of injury reserve. Am I correct about that? I saw that today.
Yes, he was backing up tonight, ready to be.
So Kolosov's back down in the AHL.
Yeah, Kolosov looked good in his limited minutes up here. Good for him.
He did.
That's pretty impressive.
I wanted to go over his AHL stats, but yeah, he did look good in the NHL. Right now in the AHL, he's 3-2-0 with a 2.60 goals against average and a 918 save percentage. So he's been good down there as well too. Carson Bjarnason, he is 3-1-1 with a 2.52 goals against average and a 918. So they both have a 918 save percentage down there. So both goaltenders so far for the Phantoms have been good. Skater wise, I know Denver Barkey just had a 4-point fucking game yesterday. He was on fire. He has 7 points in 11 games. Alex Bump had a couple points last night as well. He has 7 points in 11 games. Anthony Richard has the most points on the Phantoms right now with 8 and 9. But a ton of guys playing really well right now. Alex Bump, Denver Barkey, Carl Grunnerstrom. We talked about Christian Caillou already. Zayd Wisdom has resurrected his career. I've been trying to get Zayd on the podcast for a couple of years, and I would love to have him on.
That would be pretty sick.
Devin Kaplan. He hasn't looked amazing, but I know he had a good game like 2 weeks ago or a week ago. But the Phantoms are fun to watch this year. They are fun to watch. I would like if somebody's been actually watching them every single night and actually been paying attention. Can somebody tell me how Hunter McDonald's look? Because I have not heard one fucking word about that guy since training camp. Seriously, though. Like, I heard about this guy potentially being a fucking dark horse to make the team from the president of hockey ops. And I haven't heard about the kid in a solid month and a half. So I would like to understand what's going on there.
You know the last time I heard about the kid? When Zach made the best Fat Bay joke of all time. Which was Fat Bay was playing ass on purpose to get himself sent to the AHL because he saw their second pair was McDonald Burger.
Oh my god! I don't think I was in the group chat for that one.
That was fucking devious.
Did we talk about Grebenkin's first goal?
No, I don't think we even mentioned it.
No,
we
shout out
to Grebenkin that much.
No, we didn't talk about Grebenkin at all.
Don't
There's a
don't
lot
tell
of stuff
talking. He's good.
There's a lot of stuff that we'll talk about next week that we didn't talk about this week. This is just kind of getting back into the groove of things. I'm sure a lot of people will remind us of what we didn't touch. But yeah, he's a guy that we didn't talk about. First NHL goal for him against the Canadiens. Dude, it was so good beating the Canadiens. I love seeing that shit.
I love it. Most unnecessary rivalry of all time, but for whatever reason, we are like in this eternal argument about whose draft picks were better or some shit. So
it's so stupid.
Like, I don't understand it because it's like, okay, guys, listen, y'all made some great draft picks. We made some great draft picks. Y'all made some horrendous draft picks. We made some horrendous draft picks.
Like every fucking team in the NHL does.
Fucking sport goes.
Yes, since the beginning of time, because every team GM thinks that their pick is the best, and they galaxy brain, and every scout team and thinks that they are outsmarting the other. It happens in every fucking sport, on every team.
Like
it's a stupid thing to participate in, and I'm very fucking tired of seeing it. But real quick,
Jesperi Kotkaniemi the year before you picked Cole Caulfield, okay?
Yeah,
like just to make the point, okay? We all do it.
Cam York's my guy, by the way. Real quick, is Trevor Zegras the best shootout player in the world?
Yes, he is the best shootout player of all time.
Okay, I was just gonna go there. Is he better than TJ Oshie?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because the broadcast keeps showing it and it keeps not mattering. But like, what is it? Any shooter over 20%, he has the highest conversion rate in NHL history.
That's dude. He's so sickening good in the shootout. It's fucking. It's. I've never seen a shootout, a guy go in a shootout and be as automatic as him. Like it's. I don't even look up from my phone. It's just like, oh, Trevor's up. Okay, let me tweet this out. Look up last second goal. It's crazy, dude. Bobby Brink has been great to start the year. I think I saw a quote. I don't know if it was a real quote, check me if I'm wrong, but saw somebody put like in a graphic, and it was like Noah Cates said this about Bobby, and he was like Tortorella not treated him bad, but like Tortorella was very hard on him. I'm glad he found his way in the NHL and blah blah blah. It's like me too. Like seeing Bobby become the player that I thought Bobby could become, and he's still developing, but where he is now, he's a really fun player to like. You would never think. Like I remember when Tortorella was talking about how he can't body check at all. Like Bobby's one of the best forecheckers on the team. Like for a small guy, he's constantly knocking dudes off pucks or getting pucks in tight circles. It's actually pretty noticeable.
Oh, it definitely is. I actually like the word that Tocchet uses to describe this. He's darter almost. He can dart into these tight areas along the walls. He can dart into a guy's hands, pick up the puck, and then dart off of the boards and into the ice. Like it's really high level stuff, and he's become one of the better players in the league at it. Actually,
dude, hold on. During I don't know if it was. I think during World War I or World War II, they used to. You'll probably know what I'm talking about. There was a name for them. They used to send these smaller guys into these like tunnels, like they call like the rat tunnels or something like that, where they would send these guys down these tunnels because they were small and they had small hands and they could fit. It's sort of like that. It's like send Bobby to the small guy into these tight little area corners and tell him to get the puck and come out with it, because he does. He really is like he shoots into these corners in these tight spots, and then all you see like in a crowd of like four guys is Bobby pop out because he's so much smaller. He can like fit into these areas, and he's not like uncomfortable being in these weird positions amongst the along the board. It's fun to watch, dude. Like this team, although like there are some critiques like the shooting thing. Like I think there's a lot of conversations that I want to have next week in terms of like the actual philosophy of the team. But I think like they're a lot better to watch than they were last year. Like Zegras has improved the team tremendously. Michkov is going to get to where he is. Yorkie, Drysdale, the goaltending. Like it's been fun so far this year, man. I have nothing to complain about so far. 8-5-1.
What I'd say is like it feels more appropriate to talk about the coaching philosophies of the team and where it needs to improve and where it's doing well, because I no longer sit here and say, oh my God, there's such a dearth of talent. There is such a deficit of talent that we can't do anything. So talking about systems doesn't make any sense. I no longer feel that way about the team. I actually sit here and go, man, we have a lot of guys who can do a lot of things. And a
trade's coming. Something's happening. So I agree.
I got to mention on X, it was from Ryder Selmy. And it's fantastic because it's unfortunately very true. I was at the game tonight, Ryder Selmy is saying. It's even more clear IRL how much 74 kills plays. Zegras is constantly doing his best impression of Steve Nash, and he has nobody to finish.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna spend the last like 2 minutes of this shitting on Tippett, but everyone knows he's not my fucking favorite player in the world.
Yeah,
and I think he might be the guy that goes. We'll see, dude. We will see.
It would be absolutely fantastic if that were the case. You know, I don't think I've called Owen Tippett a terrorist on this podcast yet, so I should probably get that out of the way. Just got to hit my quota. And speaking of quotas, Charlie Stramel is ass.
Who?
Charlie Stramel, Porter Martone's linemate.
Yeah. I mean, that's another guy that's coming. Dude, I really hope Michigan State gets like swept in like their playoff round or something. Like I hate to fucking say that, but like the Flyers fan in me really wants it to happen.
It's probably not going to happen, but I need it. No. And this is a thing to talk about for the next pod, but the developmental environment of Michigan State University has been sublime for Martone and has really helped him take his game to the next level.
Yeah, I would love to hear you dive deep on that next week. But yeah, that's it for episode 118. I appreciate you guys tuning in. We will definitely be back with episodes each week, blogs. Derek is going to keep churning those out. They've been fantastic, Derek, by the way.
Thank you.
But yeah, follow me on X at the Liberty Yell at Chris Stumps. Follow Derek at Suitable Alias, and go Flow.